Good afternoon, and welcome to RTDNA News on this Sunday, November 14th. I'm Katie Schlegel.
And I'm Greg Lucis. Today we'll be talking about the recent downtown robberies, and we'll have the latest in national and international news.
And I'm Leslie Pinero. Later on the newscast, we'll have the top sports headlines. But first, this past Wednesday, the Hub became home to Penn State's annual day-long celebration, 100 Days Till Thon. From playing games to writing mail for the kids, everywhere you turned, students were participating in various Thon events. Students lined up to buy this year's Thon merchandise, modeling the logo and theme, Together Without Limits. On the ground level, others watched as 5 finalists gave it their all in hopes that they would be voted this year's Thon Idol. After their performances, morale captains jumped on stage and led the crowd into the popular Thon 2010 line dance. But the Hub wasn't the only location where the word of Thon was spread. On Old Main Lawn, numerous Thon committee members joined together to silently rock out during the annual Silent Rave. The day concluded as students were organized into an FTK formation. Pictures were taken as the excited students chanted FTK.
Are you guys involved in Thon at all? Or were you guys actually here?
Yeah, I'm on a morale committee this year. I was on one last year as well, but I was able to go to the Hub during the afternoon with my committee, some of my committee members, and it was awesome. I loved all of the decorations. It seemed like everyone was a lot more excited this year than last year. I don't know, it seems like it gets better every year. Yeah, every year it just seems like it gets bigger and bigger. I'm on morale committee too, and I actually got to film 100 Days of Thon. I got to do a little package on it. So I got to see every event, and I have to say, Thon Idol, those 5 contestants, if only all of them could win. They were so good. They were so talented. I got to be there for the last round of it, and it was great just listening to them. I wish I wasn't tone deaf and I could sing a little bit so I could do it, but...
I guess I'm the lame duck not being involved in anything. It always does. You guys saying bigger and better every time. I keep hearing more and more about it, and I just never get involved. I feel like I have a problem.
Never too late.
I'm a senior. I think it's a little too late now.
No, I mean, you can get involved pretty much anywhere, anyway, so... I mean, you just gotta look for it.
I've been to a couple socials. I thought they were just regular parties, and I realized it was about Thon. I'm like, everyone's dressed so cool, and I'm like, I think I should leave.
Fun people. Well, if anyone wants to donate, you can just go to www.thon.org. All right. In other local news, early Friday morning, a Ferguson Township man was suspected of driving drunk when his Land Rover crashed into the Arby's on 106 South Atherton Street, causing extensive structural damage to the restaurant. 28-year-old Sung Kang was driving down South Atherton Street at an estimated 60 miles per hour. In an attempt to turn right onto West College Avenue, the vehicle jumped the curb and crashed through a metal railing, a cement pillar, the side door, and glass window of the Arby's before coming to a stop. According to the State College Police, who arrived minutes after the accident, Kang failed his field sobriety test, and both he and his passenger were taken to Mount Nittany Medical Center. Both suffered only minor injuries. The Arby's, which closed at 9 p.m., was unoccupied at the time of the crash. The restaurant is not expected to open anytime as construction crews work on repairs to the building, which was ruled structurally questionable by a safety inspector. The building will need to undergo significant repairs before being approved as safe for occupation. According to the restaurant's owner, Linda Pagani, Arby's is fully insured, and she expects the driver's insurance to cover repair costs and lost revenue. As for Sung Kang, he will be issued a summons through the mail charging him with DUI and reckless driving, according to the police.
I don't understand how they're worried about it being safe once they repair it. It was repaired, or I guess in perfect condition, when the car came flying through it. I'd be more worried about that happening again than actually, oh, the walls look sturdy. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty scary to think that, it's not structurally sound anymore. If it wasn't before,
Everyone's just trying to save money buying fast food, and you get wrecked by a car while sitting there eating your roast beef sandwich.
Thankfully, though, it was closed. It happened around 2:30 in the morning. But also, I think it's interesting. Actually, Saturday, so the next day, really early in the morning, around 1 in the morning, the Unimart in Pleasant Gap was robbed at gunpoint. And also, last Tuesday, evening, the subway in North End Center was robbed at knife point. So, I don't know if there's a correlation with food and...
Cops are getting pretty busy before the break.
I'm getting scared, man. Everyone's trying to get it in before Thanksgiving. Let's just rob and buy Christmas presents for Black Friday or whatever.
Right. I don't know if there's a correlation between food and accidents happening with them in
crimes
the college area, but I'm going to stay away from fast food places.
It'll make it sound good. Number 3 party school and a bunch of random crimes in a week.
Oh, man.
All right, well, in more local news, students joined together on Veterans Day this Thursday to honor those who served our country. The event was organized by the Penn State Veterans Organization. Former United States Navy Captain Peter Schempp, class of 1970, said veterans do not receive the respect they deserve. A crowd of over 100 gathered in front of Old Main for the commemoration that started at 11 a.m. It opened with a prayer along with the Penn State ROTC color guard marching and holding the United States and Pennsylvania flags. According to Schempp, only half of 1% of our population today is serving on active duty. Jeff Laysitter, a member of Penn State Air Force ROTC, said, "They are commonly called POWS and MIAS. We call them our brothers. They are unable to be with us today, so we remember them." Schempp also said, "The current me, I want everything and I want it now generation will never understand what the real meaning of our service and sacrifice is like for the veterans." He urged the Penn State community to respect veterans more and help them make an easier transition from war to home. I mean, I guess I completely agree. I mean, I have all the older people in my classes, and I'm always, wondering why they're so much older. They'll come in on a random day dressed up in their ROTC stuff. It's, people are serving and still going to classes, and I respect that, I guess we don't show it enough, and that's what they're saying, but
yeah,
they deserve, I don't know, whatever we can give them.
I have a couple of friends who are in ROTC right now, and they wake up at the crack of dawn to go to training, and then they go to their classes, and they have to go above and beyond the regular student to basically perform their duties, and it's awesome to see how many people are involved in ROTC whenever they have their days that they have to dress up in their uniforms. So yeah, I think we really need to stop and take time to appreciate them a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because we can't relate. We'll never know what any veterans go through. My grandfather served in World War II, and I called him on Thursday, wish him Happy Veterans Day. But saying thanks is only so much. I'll never understand the sacrifice that he made for our country. And it's just, as long as we can show our appreciation, at least we can do something to make them feel
right. Also, along with the commemoration that happened recently, actually at 3 o'clock today, the State College Area Municipal Band hosted their annual Veterans Day concert as a ceremony of remembrance. And reading an article about them online, apparently they're really, really popular, and it's a really great performance to go to. So I hope that whoever had the chance to go to it really enjoyed it, and it's another great way to just remember the veterans.
I think that's part of the problem is when you said, you read an article and apparently they're popular, that's what they're talking about. People don't, I guess, recognize it enough,
right.
And you see that, I guess, when you mentioned seeing the people in their suit, in their, I guess, military garb, when you see one day, I'll see a girl wearing, spandex, Uggs, and a hoodie, and the next day she'll be wearing, the entire military stuff, and it just blows my mind that it's the same person.
Yeah, they're students just like us, but they're really special because they're passionate about what they do, and they're going above and beyond what any of us could possibly imagine to go through.
And I feel lazy.
Yeah.
Compared to them, very, very lazy.
Yeah, right. Well, coming up, we'll be talking about which state is the latest to approve medical marijuana.
Going off to college has been a blast. I've met a bunch of new friends in my dorm, but the one thing I don't want to get from living here is the flu. That's why I'm telling everyone my age, whether they're in school or not, to get the H1N1 flu vaccine. You see, this isn't going to be just any flu season. And if you're under 25, the threat of this year's flu season is very real, because teens and young adults are particularly vulnerable to serious complications from the H1N1 flu virus. That's why I'm urging everyone my age to get vaccinated. Vaccination is safe and is the most effective way to prevent the flu. To learn more, log on to flu.gov. Just think, if we all do our part and get vaccinated, we'll be doing what's best to protect ourselves and to help stop the spread of the H1N1 flu virus. To get the facts on how you can prevent the flu, go to flu.gov. Together, we can all fight the flu.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
The Penn State Alumni Association, informing, involving, and inspiring Penn State alumni and students through its publications, programs, and events. With a powerful network of more than 164,000 members worldwide, the Alumni Association has been keeping alumni connected to the university and to each other for more than a century. On the web at alumni.psu.edu. The Penn State Alumni Association is proud to support Penn State athletics and many other programs that foster Penn State pride among alumni and students.
In national news, Arizona state officials reported today that voters approved a ballot measure legalizing medical marijuana usage. According to unofficial results posted on the Arizona Secretary of State's website, 50.1% voted in favor of the measure, with 49.8% voting against. The Marijuana Policy Project, who helped fund and support the Arizona Medical Marijuana Policy Project, say the decision will allow patients who suffer from AIDS, cancer, and other illnesses to use medical marijuana with a doctor's recommendation. Proposition 203 also allows for the establishment of 120 state-regulated clinics to give out marijuana, and people living over 25 miles away from the clinic will be allowed to produce their own.
This topic of a discussion could be a whole show by itself, but I think I'm surprised by the last statement about it being allowed to produce and grow their own. I think that's where the problems come out. Everyone always talks about wanting to do it, and I mean, in pop culture, it's not seen, I guess, really medically, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
But I mean, when people start growing their own, that's where the regulations are going to come.
I think that's
strict.
where the problem comes in, because people are going to start selling it themselves and making a profit off of it, where that profit should be going to the state. I mean, they're trying to legalize the marijuana for medical purposes, but whenever you get to the point where people are allowed to grow their own, that's whenever the black market comes into effect.
Exactly. I understand having a doctor's recommendation. Okay, if you're ill, this will help you with your pain. But when you're, it's on your own and you're just growing it yourself, I mean, it could be distributed to anyone.
And I wonder just how the regulation and people go about doing it. If they have people come out and make sure you're not growing over a certain amount, because you have a large quantity and you're one person who's sick. I feel like they're gonna be I don't know how much medicine you're using, but I feel like it's a little too much.
And even it's not even, and even if they are growing it and they're following any regulations that are set, who's to say that they aren't put in danger when other people know that they're growing it and they come and either try to steal it, rob it, who knows? I just feel like it
just become friends with them in general and be like, hey, I saw your farm out back. I was wondering if you want to go watch some TV or something, I brought popcorn.
What are you going to do?
You want to make some, we can cook.
Yeah, oh man, this could be interesting.
I'm sure there'll be more news about that, especially with I think there are 14 states that are now using medical marijuana, along with D.C.
It's becoming really, really popular as a way to treat illnesses, and
I mean, I completely understand with that too, but I feel like Pennsylvania though is going to be one of the last ones, if ever.
Yeah, very conservative.
We're already conservative about alcohol, and
right.
If once marijuana comes into play, I feel like they're just kind of that's a different topic for another day.